Debunking fat loss myths. Look, there's a lot of information online about fat loss and it's hard to know what works and what actually doesn't, so I want to clear this all up today and tell you guys what's right to what's wrong. And before you go and say, why does this guy think he knows everything? Well, I don't know everything, but I know a lot about fat loss, and that's why our clients are getting great results. They're losing 5 to 10 kilos in their first 90 days on our program without having to cut out their favorite foods, social events, or have to burn themselves out doing cardio in the gym, as you can see on the screen. First myth, you can spot reduce fat. Unfortunately, as much as I wish it was possible, you cannot spot reduce fat. It does not mean that you should stop in your attempts to try and lose fat, because it's not going to come off if you don't try anyway. If you just leave it, no fat's going to come off. But unfortunately, you can't spot reduce fat. It's very much so down to genetics that sort of decides where the fat will come off. Most of the time, it just comes off in even spread off of everywhere or something close enough to that. But main point being, you cannot spot reduce fat. Myth number 2, if you eat fat, you'll get fat. And with this one, we're talking about the macronutrient fat. You should not be avoiding this while eating a calorie deficit trying to lose weight, because fats are actually a very important part of your diet. Obviously, good fats, which are dietary fats, they're great for nutrient absorption. They're also really good for hormone production, and they're also just great for making your body operate the way it should. And yes, 1 gram of fat does have more calories than 1 gram of protein and carbs, but if you eat this fat in moderation, in a calorie deficit, you will still lose weight. Myth number 3, I need to spam cardio to lose weight. False. Everyone knows that you lose weight being in a calorie deficit, but it doesn't mean you have to exercise your way into one. You can eat in a calorie deficit, it's much more sustainable, and do some training that you actually enjoy doing and will show up consistently for, and is sustainable and will not leave you hating your training and ultimately not wanting to exercise. It's one of the biggest things that I see people trying when they need to lose weight. From working in a gym for multiple years, people will walk in and be like, oh, I've got to burn off what I just ate. So they jump on the treadmill, run it out for about a solid hour. They do that every night. I'm just like, how do you not absolutely hate that? Trying to chase and burn the food that you ate when you could just actually do stuff you enjoy doing by, watching what you eat, tracking your calories, and then just doing some training you enjoy doing, rather than trying to burn all this bad food that you ate beforehand. It just must be draining, and I can see why people go into these cycles where they get motivated, they smash it out, and then it's unsustainable, so they fall off. Another few months, they give it a try again, same old approach that never works, and they keep going in the circle once again. Myth number 4, I think, fasting guarantees weight loss. So let's get this right. Principles of weight loss is to be in a calorie deficit so you can actually lose weight. Everything else is simply a method. So fasting, in this case, is a method. It helps, or it's something that can help people be in a calorie deficit to lose weight, but it doesn't guarantee results. Look, I think the idea of fasting for sure can be a good one, because it cuts out maybe unnecessary meals that people don't need to have, where they're not actually as hungry and they can sort of hold on to that hunger for a bigger meal later. But if you're holding on for a bigger meal later and then you just go eat a horse and eat a bunch of bad food that is just super high in calories and would send you over into a calorie surplus, then you're not going to lose weight because you're in a calorie surplus. But this can work for some people who are actually not too bad at eating decently healthy, because they're cutting out the unnecessary meals and they have a big meal and it's healthy, and they'll they might be in a calorie deficit and get results. But it's very much sort of dipping your hand into a mixed bag of lollies. You don't know what you're going to get. Myth number 5, carbs make you fat. So on a similar topic to how we were talking about fats make you fat, or eating fats make you fat, carbs are our body's main energy source. So trying to cut out carbs is going to leave you feeling like absolute, I don't need to say the word, but feeling not very good. So stop trying to cut out carbs. I do know why people say this, because when you go to weigh in after eating carbs hold on to water, they store water, which means that you're naturally going to weigh a bit more because your body's temporarily holding a bit more weight, which is water weight. But it doesn't mean you put on fat. Your body's holding water, it's not fat. So you are going to weigh a little bit more, but it doesn't mean that you are gaining fat. Once your body stops holding water, you'll be at a bit more of a normal weight. And yeah, that's why I say to my clients, stop relying too much on the weight scale. For some of them, we just do a weigh-in every day or every 2 days to get a bit more of an accurate one. but it's too hard to tell, you know, if you're doing a weigh-in after eating a really high carb meal, because it's just your body's going to be holding and storing a lot of water, and you're ultimately not going to be at the most accurate weight. The weight scale is not going to give you the most accurate weight that you're looking for. But getting back to the myth, carbs do not make you fat. Eating in a calorie surplus does. So stop avoiding them. Eat your carbs. They're important. Myth number 6, I believe. Eating late makes you gain weight. No, it does not. If you've ever seen this thing online saying, don't eat after 8 p.m, you'll get fat. Stop listening to it, please. If you are under the idea that food magically gains 1 million calories as soon as it hits 8 p.m, imagine this, an apple at 7:59 p.m. is 100 calories. As soon as it hits 8 p.m, nah. Apple's now 1,200,363 calories. Make it make sense, guys. Come on. I know there are studies that say it has the tiniest impact, but it does not actually really affect anything. It is the smallest impact if you eat late or eat right before bed. But in saying that, it is the tiniest thing, and you might as well not even worry about it. So eat at whatever time you want. I've done this before. I've done many cuts where I've had to cut weight for a boxing fight, or whether I've just wanted to cut weight in general if I'm coming off the back of a bulk. And I've eaten late at night because I've worked late night jobs before. Get home and I eat at like 2 a.m, my last meal, and I've still been able to lose weight at the same rate as any other time. So myth busted. Our final myth is skipping meals help you lose weight. No, it does not. It's similar to the concept of fasting, essentially skipping meals. But if you think eating less or skipping meals is going to make you lose weight, no, it isn't. It's a calorie deficit. You can still eat every meal of the day, breakfast, lunch, dinner, a few snacks in between and dessert, and still lose weight. You just need to be tracking your calories and, you know, eating in moderation of those foods that you probably shouldn't be eating a lot of, and, you know, keeping your diet basically 80-20. So 80% really good foods that support your nutritional goals, and 20% of the not so good stuff, but keeping it in moderation, right? If you're skipping meals during the day, you're just going to be more hungry. And later on when you get home, your body's going to be screaming at you for food. And you're going to be that hungry that you're just going to scoff it down so quickly, and you're going to eat so much without even realizing you're full, and boom. Whereas if you slow down your eating, maybe you'd feel yourself getting full, but because you're so hungry, you're just going to scoff it down. Don't skip meals, just have a correct plan in place, and you will not need to skip meals or avoid any sort of certain types of foods like carbs and fats as a whole. If you guys are still a bit confused and you want to know what actually works, we do have our very own Summer Shred Made Easy Beginner's Fat Loss Guide. It has everything that you need to know, that if you were to follow our information for the next 90 days, you would lose 5 to 10 kilos, just like our clients have done, without having to cut out your favorite foods, social events, or burning yourself out doing cardio every night at the gym. So if you want a free copy of this guide, just go to my Instagram at landonquinn.coaching and just DM me the word myth so I know that you came from this video, and I'll send it straight on through to you. And if you found this video helpful at all, don't forget to like the video and also go subscribe. That way you don't miss out on any of the helpful fat loss content that I'll be putting out every few days.